Fine, so an example of a new type of project that I think that we will do more and more of here at Lyon is a particular direct giving project. We invest with a hedge fund in Hong Kong called ADM. And ADM, which are Asia ex-Japan hedge fund, longshore hedge fund, the principals of that fund have set up a charitable foundation. They did that 3 years ago, and it's a large commitment from the GP, the general partner there, and they have put in place an organisation called ADM Foundation, which is staffed by the most terrific and experienced practitioners. And we do quite a lot in India. We've got various managers in India, various direct projects in India, business projects, and we do sustainable house building in India and various other things. We asked ADM to come up with a specific India project on children in need, children at risk, which is a large category in India. And they came up with which we think a very interesting project, and it's a new project in terms of modus operandi. And it involves us seeding a series of drop-in centres, which is not a model that's been used before in India, seemingly. So we have done a joint venture with Pratham, which is a very large established charity, literacy charity across India. And we have identified, the first area that was identified is something called the DNR waste tips in Mumbai. I'm going to get it wrong, 120 hectares, it's been there since the 1920s. There are 4,000 lorries that drop their solid waste every day, and there are 3,500 children that scavenge, rag pickers scavenge on the tip. Now, we have, with ADM Foundation's help, and also as a joint venture with Pratham, we established last April 2009, 5 drop-in centres, which sounds very glamorous. It's actually nothing more than 5 lock-up shops that we are renting. And in those lock-up shops will be the following. There will be 2 Pratham operatives, and we'll come on to what they do, and then we are funding 2 or 3 per drop-in centre other operatives who are doing outreach. They're going onto the tips, they are identifying the children, they are marrying children with the child with the parent, and then getting the parent's permission to allow the child to come to the drop-in centre. And at the drop-in centre, various things happen. They're given rudimentary, very basic sort of lunch food, a rice patty or whatever. They're given, there is rudimentary health care across the 5 drop-in centres. And then there is with the Pratham's help, and this is really the key thing, the key part of what we're trying to do with the project, is we are providing education to these children, and with the aim of getting the children through Pratham into mainstream education. Note, I don't say back into mainstream education, because these children have not been in mainstream education. It's very well run for us by Pratham. We fund the drop-in centres, and although Pratham is a very large organisation, they don't have the particular conduit ability to allow them to be able to get the children to a site. Once they're at the site, which the drop-in centre provides, it's at that point that then Pratham can then start the rudimentary education, which happens at the drop-in centre, and then get them into mainstream education. And there's a very good feedback loop that Pratham have developed across the country, whereby the child, the parent and the school all sign off monthly on a particular form. So there's very little recidivism. We find that there's very little evidence of children going into mainstream education and then coming back and becoming a rag picker and all the problems that entails.